Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. I'm your host, Roger, as always. If you didn't know that, my apologies. Question mark. I'm kidding. Hey, I'm going to do a couple of videos here today while I got a little bit of extra time. Today, in particular, I'm probably going to shoot 3 to 4 videos. A couple of them are some new segment style videos. Not necessarily unboxings per se, but, I'm going to try to do something kind of like a weekly purchases type video. I'll just show kind of the things I've gotten in the mail, things I've gotten in trade that week, purchased that week, things of that nature. And some of those things may end up being in later videos for unboxing, things like that. But they are definitely things that, it could be cool to kind of show off and do like a weekly purchases style segment. So by all means, not trying to rip off anybody named Kyle Peterson. However, I know a lot of people do weekly purchase style segments on their YouTube channel, so with as much as I have and as often as I do things, we may as well do one here as well. So, without further ado, let's go ahead and get started on this week's weekly purchases. So, got a couple of things. None of them I will be unboxing today. Like I said, a couple of them I'm going to unbox, but that will be done at a later time. So, first off, these I grabbed yesterday out in the wild, and that is going to be the AEW Series 4 Unrivaled Matt Hardy and Sammy Guevara figures. I already have the Cody and the Kenny from this set, so if anything, when I don't plan on unboxing those, my son actually has those two already, so it's kind of one of those things where if you need it for a fig fed or fig photography or anything, I can use his. We tend to do that sometimes with stuff. If he has it already open, then I'll keep mine sealed if it's something I still want for my collection. These, however, I'm going to open. I definitely am really excited to get a hold of these and open them and add them to my loose collection. So these will be really fun to unbox and add into what I already have for my AEW shelf, especially the Matt Hardy. He's got this red projection for the Vanguard 1 drone, which you can actually swap out the head with the head on the body for, and I think that's a really cool thing. Obviously, a lot of people aren't going to do it, but I'm a bit of a nut job that way, and I love clear variants on figures. In fact, one of my favorite figures of all time is probably a translucent Obi-Wan Kenobi figure that was a mail away. Simple, basic figure, but it's still something that kind of has a little bit of sentimental value for me. So I do enjoy figures of that style. So it'll be very cool to get to add him to the collection, as well as being able to play with that drone and the swappable head. So there's those two. Those were part of the purchases this week. Another part of the purchases this week, and it's actually kind of a bleed over from last week, but since I haven't mentioned them, I'll go ahead and do them all at one time. In fact, I'll actually do them in the order that I received them, just to be fair. So last week, I received both my Major Wrestling Pod crate, which came with this exclusive purple Tights Macho Man, and also has the Major WF Pod logo in the background, which is really awesome. And then I also received my orange Tights Classic Macho Man. And I love the cases that they're doing for these micro brawlers now. Now, granted, I've got another one that's newer that's also going to be mentioned. It doesn't have this, but a lot of them, they have these plastic barriers on the cards. That way, if you actually want to, you can flip up the top like that, and you can slide the card out if you want to make them display for loose. And then if you want to put them back on card, I mean, it's a very easy fix. So I really like that. I wish they would do that with all of them. I think that would honestly probably attract a lot more buyers and collectors to them. Being able to have that option to do both loose and on card if you end up changing your mind or need to do something to your collection to alter it. I've got mine in little defenders because I'm a weirdo like that. I have a lot of my figures that are on card in some type of clamshell now, so that is normal. Then, a few days later, I received my USA Tights Macho Man, which I really like. This one was actually when you went online to buy these, the day they dropped all the Macho Mans, like referred to it as the most ridiculous day I've ever seen in terms of limited time drops, because there's about 5 or 6 of these Macho Mans that came out in one day and they went up for like an hour or two at a time. And I think this one was actually the most expensive out of all of them. But this one is a very, very cool piece. Definitely going to keep him on card. Good, as I've mentioned before in other videos, I'm a massive Macho Man guy, so Definitely cool to add any type of variation of that to it. Even though I'm not a huge Micro Brawlers collector, some of these are really cool, and I absolutely love having them in my collection. And so, then I received this. I purchased this off of Instagram from Mitch over at Hassle Toy. You can find him on Instagram at Hassle Toy. Great guy. He has a lot of great things he sells through his Instagram. He also has a store. I believe it's in New Jersey, but I could be wrong. Apologize, I'm in Oklahoma. Don't really know much about toy stores outside of here and their specific locations. But this is a Colt Cabana Micro Brawler. This is the old school style Micro Brawler that came in the baggies with a little clipped on backer here. And this one is, in fact, signed by Colt himself, so very cool. Check out that hot pink signature. Really dig that. Really pops on that card. So that was really cool to add that to it, and got a really solid deal on it, so could not complain. And then finally, for our Micro Brawler gets this week, I finally got this month's wrestling crate, and I got the Iron Chic Chase Micro Brawler. Now, the only notable, discernible difference I can tell in this Micro Brawler from the standard is the boots. So in this one, it has yellow boots. If you look on the back, the boots for, I believe it is the standard, I could be wrong, appear to be red and gray, so separate colored boots. But yeah, this one, yellow boots, looks really cool. I'm a huge Iron Sheik fan. He's such a colorful character, especially now at this stage in his life where he's not really, obviously an active wrestler or anything, but he's a very entertaining character nonetheless. However, I mentioned a minute ago about the new cases, new card styles they were doing for the Micro Brawlers. This is an example of how they have not changed it for all of them just yet. This one still has the standard cardboard card, meaning if this thing gets opened, it's doneski. Throw it away, cut the card off, and that's it. Now, this one did come in a little more damaged than I would have liked for it. And this is another reason why I think they should start putting them on those newer cards with the plastic. There's kind of a bend right there on the J hook, which you can actually see all the way through on the back side too. I don't know if you can see that or not. And then also along the back of the card, here at the bottom, really, really wrinkled and bent. So that hurts a little bit, but you know what? It's still cool. Even though, and it seems like the bend is right there along where that bubble attaches to the card too. So I'm not really sure. Maybe it has something to do with the glue or the amount of it that went on there. But it was awesome to finally get a chase. I've gotten several wrestling crates over the last couple of months, and this is the first chase I've managed to get. I was hoping to get the Jake the Snake one, but was not as fortunate. So, lastly, but not least, this one is actually a purchase I've had for a while, but I just received it this week, unfortunately. Good friend of mine, Tony, who I got this from. He's had a lot of stuff going on, as we all know. Life is beyond crazy right now. I am definitely a victim of that circumstance. But fortunately, I was able to finally get it this week, and big shout out to him. Thank you for making this happen. I've been trying to complete my AEW Series 1 set for quite a while now, specifically Series 1A, now that 1B is out with the corrected skin tones. And I finally got the last piece I needed, which is the Brandy Rhodes from that set. So now I finally have completed my Series 1A AEW Unrivaled set, mint on card. So it's going to be great to get her in a bubble, get her on the wall. I do need to find an alternative way to hang up my figures that are on card on my wall here in the toy room. But unfortunately, I'm starting to realize that the bricking that borders part of the walls that I use for hanging up my action figures is not holding very well with command strips. So other than maybe drilling some holes and putting up some pegboard and rigging it up that way, make it look like an old school toy shop at a flea market, I'm not really sure what I'm going to do yet. Brainstorming a little bit. I got quite a bit going on this weekend. In fact, tomorrow, which is Sunday, I'll be going to Ardmore, Oklahoma, to Hastings to meet with Kevin Nash to do a signing and get a few things autographed by him. So wait for a video for that to come out. I'll show off the figures I get signed, as well as discuss a few other things in the process as well. And then I'm also going to hit up IKEA so I can get some more DTOVs to finish what I started in this room about 8 months ago. I'm very excited to get the room finalized in more of a permanent situation. I've moved things around and rearranged 2 or 3 times. However, I finally have a pretty solid idea in mind on where I want everything to go. So once I do have my additional details put in place over this weekend and get them filled up and get the rest of this stuff situated, I will finally do some kind of a tour, even if it's not a real detailed one, just kind of a quick shot. Maybe look for it on Instagram. Maybe just take some photos and post those up just to kind of give a quick glimpse on how the toy room looks. Also, it is Double or Nothing weekend. So, guys, enjoy the pay-per-view. I'll be checking it out on Sunday as well once I am back in town from my little excursion to Texas and to see Big Kev and Ardmore. So, that's going to do it for this video. Like I said, I'll be putting up a couple more as well. Weekly purchases, I'm going to try to do those, of course, obviously once a week. And then also, I'm going to start incorporating some more classic toy reviews as well, where I take a classic toy out of my collection, loose or carded, and I do a review on it, just real quick, little appetizer videos, nothing too long, just a quick, show it off, talk about it, and review it. As I have had some questions about some of the older stuff in my collection, people wanting to see it up close, and then, getting a little bit more of a hands-on perspective with that figure. So, guys, that's going to wrap it up for this video. Thank you for checking me out. Also, overnight, I seem to spike about 10 subscribers, so thank you for that. I really do appreciate the continued support. Remember to keep following me also over my Instagram at CollectingRaj. I'm trying to get a little more traction with putting more posts up there, whether the cards, action figures, you name it. I'm just trying to get a little more content on there as well. So, again, thanks for the support, and I'll see you next time, guys.